Good morning, eighth graders. And this is where I hear, good morning, Mr. Smith. So as you're watching this, you can kind of fill in the blank on some of the things because you're pretty used to what I'm going to say in a lot of this anyway. So it should be easy for you. But the main thing I want to do is say to you, congratulations on your eighth grade year. Congratulations on moving on to high school. And I couldn't possibly leave you without giving you some final message. So it won't be very long, but I do want to have an opportunity to kind of recap some of the things that we talked about over the eighth grade year in this very classroom on Tuesdays and Wednesday mornings. You do remember that, don't you? And I know some of you are a little sleepy at 8 in the morning, so that's why I'm posting this a little later in the day, so that you'll hopefully be up and be able to stay through the full several minutes of it. Oh, by the way, I invited a guest to be with us this morning. We're here in Miss Mann's classroom, so I also have Miss Mann here with me. You know, she's always kind of here so that I can bounce some questions and ideas off of her, and especially today since I really won't have much response out of you. But I'll give you an opportunity. I'll pause to let you fill in the blanks. For example, first right off the bat, the first thing I say every morning when I walk in is, does anyone feel, yes, inspired? Does anyone feel inspired today? I hope you do. And I hope you've learned throughout the year that inspiration is all around us. We've talked about that. You're inspired every morning because you're in a beautiful place. You come to this school. You've got great friends. You have a roof over your head. You have clothes on you. And as we've talked about in the rest of the world, that's not always the case, right? So that in and of itself should inspire you. But I hope that you're not letting this little situation that we're in right now, for example, that you've missed out on a quarter of your eighth grade school year, be such a negative thing for you that you've lost inspiration. I want you to continue to be inspired by those things around you. And certainly be inspired about the things that we've talked about throughout this entire year, which are our 7 pillars of Christian character. And as you can see by the handwriting, I put those up there personally myself, just to remind you of what those 7 pillars are. Well, let's start with this. Let's start off with the 3 R's. The 3 R's are part of our mission statement. The 3 R's are who we are. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The 3 R's are really what all the rest are about. Watch this. So the first one is reverence for God. We've talked about that, and we talked about reverence being, you know, when you come into chapel, that you're come in reverently, that you come in quietly, that you come in with some type of preparedness, that you are prepared to go to the service, that you're prepared. Same thing in your church, if you're prepared to go to your service there, your mass or whatever, that you come in reverently. It's a mindset that you're ready for this. But let me let you in on something else too. Reverence for God means that you have a personal relationship, that you've developed a personal relationship. And within that relationship, you've developed hope and faith. And faith, I think, is the biggest part of that. So I think you need to go in anytime that you're talking about reverence for God, you need to talk about hope and faith. Faith is fairly simple. We talked about the empty tomb. That's pretty much what faith is, that there was an empty tomb. We're just finished with Easter. We're in the 7th week of Easter. And it's honestly all about the empty tomb, right? So I hope that you remain throughout your high school, adulthood, and wherever you go, reverent for God. Second, respect for others. A huge thing because we talked about that a lot. We talked about that in today's world, not everybody's very respectful, or some people aren't very respectful. You see it on TV all the time. That's a big R, respect for others. And so what do we have respect for? Well, we have respect for that they are others, that there are others around us, and that they have their own opinions, they have their own viewpoints, and they have their own outlook on the world. And in today's world, there's a lot of different opinions. Now, respect and agreement aren't the same thing, right? So we talk about respect. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to agree, but that you are respectful to what others' viewpoints are and what their thoughts and whether it be your classmate, your family members. Respect for others is a huge part of our 3 R's. And then the third one is responsibility for self. We talked about that a lot because in today's world, once again, that's not my responsibility, right? Well, there are things that are your responsibility. Remember, we talked about being 4 years old, and at 4 years old, you're not as responsible as you're going to be at 8 years old, and certainly at 14 years old, but just wait. Someday you're going to be 24 years old, 34 years old, and your responsibility as your age goes up, your responsibility levels go up as well. So those are our 3 R's: reverence, respect, and responsibility. The others are important too, but if you really look at this, all the others fall within this umbrella of these 3 R's right here. Trustworthiness, we talked about that quite a bit because trustworthiness is where you are as a human being. These are some major character traits as you, a human being. Are you trustworthy? Can others trust in you? Are you a good friend? Are you a good boyfriend, girlfriend? Can you be trusted? Are you a good child to your parents? Can you be trusted? Trustworthiness is a foundational word. Trustworthiness is a foundation for all relationships. Without trust, you don't have a relationship. You may have an association. You may have an opportunity to be with people and actually do that successfully, but not really a relationship. So trustworthiness is a foundation for every relationship that you'll have. Fairness, we talked a lot about fairness, didn't we? Because one of the main things about fairness is it objective or subjective? That is correct. It is subjective because remember we talked about what's fair to your parents is not always what's fair to you. So fairness has a little bit of the eyes of the beholder, doesn't it? But there is a concept of fairness that I think all of us can agree upon. And that is being fair to your friends, being fair to your family, being fair in what you say that you're going to do, and then you fall back on that trustworthiness that you actually do it. Being fair is a very important concept of character. Caring, gosh, we should have a little more caring in this world, shouldn't we? And a really good, successful 8th grader and beyond is a caring person. The worst phrase ever is, I don't care. That's a horrible phrase. Because when you say, I don't care, that really gives us all a viewpoint of you as a human being. You should care. You should care about your family. You should care about your pets. You should care about the neighbor next door. You should care about the world itself, the environment that we live in. Everything that you're involved in today's world, you should be a caring person. And then the last one is citizenship. And remember we talked about that you're not just a citizen of Calvary, you're not just a citizen of Richmond, you're not just a citizen of Fort Bend County or Texas or even the United States, you are a citizen of the world. And in today's media and today's technology, we've all been doing Zoom meetings here and all been different places. We know that you don't have to be all together in the world. You're going to be competing in the job market very soon. Yes, it will be soon. 10 years is not very far off. And you're going to be competing in a world market. And so being a good citizen of the world is important also. So that's a recap. That's all 7 of our pillars of our Christian character. So here's the final message I will leave you with. If you don't think that this was just a class and an exercise and you actually go out and live these things, you will be a highly successful person. You may make a B or a C along the way in school. That's not what I'm talking about. You will be a highly successful human being. You will be character-filled. You will be somebody who other people want to be with. And that's really the most important thing that you're going to learn in life. So I wish you all well. I miss you. Yes, even you. I miss all of you. And so I wish you well. Do well in high school. Some of you I'll see along the way. Sadly, some of you I probably won't see anymore, but maybe we'll have memories of each other that will last us many years to come. So I'm going to go off into summer now, and And I hope you have a great summer and you enjoy being some time out with your family. Hopefully everything will open back up and you'll get to go out and do some things that you want to do this summer. God bless you.